So this afternoon I'm planting out my sugar snap pea seedlings, and these didn't do awfully well. I planted these right back at the beginning of March, I think, and quite a lot of them didn't germinate, so I sowed them again, and finally I've got enough to plant out. So just to show you what they need to look like, so if you can see, they've got little tendrils on them, and once these tendrils start developing and reaching out, that's the time when you need to put them out and give them something to climb up. If they end up sprawling on the ground, they never really recover and go upwards fully again. So you need to give them something from the beginning to climb up. So in terms of support, there's lots of ways that you can support peas. This variety don't grow very tall. They're only going to grow just about 1 metre high. So they don't need high support. So I've constructed this string and stick support system, and the idea is that the peas are going to grow in the middle and cling onto the string on the outside and themselves, but also I'll give them initially some twiggy sticks to climb up. So I'll just show you that. So I'm going to get them carefully out of the pot, and you can see the root systems are still nice and loose, which means I can really easily separate the peas out. That's the sort of stage you want to have them at, all your plants, when you're putting them out. Once the roots have grown together and you start having to really yank them apart, you damage the roots and you could potentially damage the plant. So I'm popping those in there, and we'll go most of the way along this row, but what I'm going to do straight away is I'm going to use some twiggy sticks and put them in right next to the peas. Actually, that wants to be even shorter. What you want is these twiggy bits to be really close to where the peas are reaching out to, so they've straight away got something to grab onto. So and it's quite good once you've put peas out to come and check them fairly frequently to make sure that they are growing upwards and not across the bed. So there we are. That's what I'm going to do with these along the row, and because I didn't get as many as I hoped, I'm also going to sow another lot, so hopefully I'll have 2 harvests of these sugar snap peas, or rather the children will probably, they'll eat them all. Okay, so let's go now and have a look at the main crop peas that I planted out yesterday. So these are another kind of pea. These are the old variety of peas which have beautiful purple flowers but produce edible pods. People often think that they're sweet peas. And they're very tall. They grow to probably at least 6 foot. So they've got a different sort of structure. So I've made like a teepee with some hazel poles. Normally what I would do is I would use the twiggy sticks that I showed you earlier, and I'd put those in between, but I haven't been able to get hold of many this year, so I'm just using twine, and I've just spiraled that around the structure. And again, I just need to be checking on them and making sure that the first tendrils are going to reach the first piece of twine, and then they will all head upwards. When you're making structures like this, especially for tall peas or beans, it's really important to make them as strong as you can to start with. So I've actually, because the soil is quite hard because it's been so dry, I actually used a post and banged it in, made a hole for each of these poles, because once these are all growing fully, and this is going to be really full of peas, and they're quite heavy, and you don't want them to then blow over on a windy day. So it's just quite important to put some time into making a good strong structure. The other thing I did before I planted them, and the same down with the other peas, is I gave the soil a really, really good water. It's actually raining right now, but this is the first rain we've had in probably a month, and everything is very, very dry. Yeah, I spent 10 minutes watering this 1 sort of metre square piece of soil to get plenty of moisture in the soil. And if you are watering your seedlings as you put them out at this time of year, it's a really good idea to water them for a good long time and not so often. So rather than coming out and giving them a little bit of water every day, which might make sense when it feels very dry, actually you'd be better off only doing it once every few days and giving them more water. And that's because if the water penetrates the soil more deeply, the roots of the plants are going to pull down to that water, and eventually what you want them to do, of course, is find their own water so you don't have to water them. So to encourage the roots to really go down, water larger quantities and less often. And just to say what else has been going on here, so I've planted under this wire, which is to stop the cats, some true spinach. So I grow quite a lot of the green spinach you can see at the end there, which is a perpetual spinach. Chard and rainbow chard are in the same family. They're really robust and really hardy. They're often green through the winter and they're brilliant, but they're not quite as succulent and delicious as a true spinach. And so at this time of year it's a good moment to be growing true spinach. It's quite a quick crop and it will go to seed quite quickly once the weather warms up. So you get it in the soil now, you'll be eating it within a few weeks, and then that piece of ground will be freed up to put some more crops in later in the season. Just to quickly show you what's going on in the greenhouse. So the salad that I sowed several weeks ago is looking really, really good now, and I've been nibbling it while I've been out here and it's ready to cut. So this was a mixed salad leaf packet. You'll find you can get lots and lots of different kinds of mixed leaves, and this was a short to crop one, so I wanted a speedy one to start me off. What I'll do with this is I'll cut it with scissors, and I'll cut it not right down to the ground, but just above, about 2 centimetres above the ground, down here. And I'll cut, you know, however much I want for a meal, and each meal I'll cut some more. And I keep watering it, and then that will come back. So these are called cut and come again salads. So you can cut them and they reproduce more leaves. And that will give me probably 3 or 4 crops before that's over and will come out, and by then we'll be eating the lettuces and the mizuna that are in here. And I just wanted to quickly show you this. So this is just an ordinary seed tray, and I filled it with some old peas that I wasn't sure how they would germinate. So I put lots and lots of them in there, and we're eating this now as pea shoots, and these are really delicious. So they're just shooting, and once they're about so high, I'm nipping them off near the base, or the kids are mainly, and those are really delicious and sweet. And then we should get another little spurt of growth from that. So that's a really quick, easy win for some salad. And then lastly, just to show you the plants in the propagator, which have all now got their second true leaves and really need to be potted on. And I've been waiting for about 10 days for my potting compost to arrive, and when it does I'll be putting those on and showing you some of that.